Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I'm your host, Alex Reevy, bringing the stars down to you, as well as the whimsical writer herself, Sandy Reevy.
That's what I've been this week.
And today it is episode 104 here in Evanston in the sanctuary, and it is July 20th. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have Monday, July 20th, new moon in Cancer.
A need for retreat.
Same day, Sun Opposing Saturn.
So much to do.
Wednesday, July 22nd, Sun ingress Leo.
Be proud, you Leos.
Same day, Mercury sextile Uranus.
It's the last pass.
And Monday, July 27th, Jupiter sextile Neptune.
Is this what magic is?
Venus square Neptune.
Where's your relationship?
Mercury square Mars.
It's go time.
And Mercury is finally out of the shadow. So let's move on to Talisman times, where Sandy has finished up 2 to be promoted and to find inner peace, as well as one very special upcoming to be a natural leader. Then on the horizon, we have many virtual events that you won't want to miss. And in our house, Sandy and I are going to answer one of your questions. Are astrologers recognizing Ophiuchus as a zodiac sign? Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce. And so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, whimsical writer.
I like that. I'd let you read one of my homework assignments.
I did, and that's why I came up with that name today.
Let's go.
So yeah, happy Monday, everybody. We do have a really nice going direct that I wanted to share with you all. Keep them coming. Keep those emails and feedback and reviews coming. I love listing them here.
I don't get to hear them until you say them. So
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay, so this one is from Ashley of Schaumburg. I truly enjoyed my reading with Sandy. The session I had was 1 hour long, and it's dedicated to my natal chart. The reading was detailed and informative, all while being very uplifting. I went in with an open mind and with only one real question, which was answered, but I received so much more. Sandy gave me the opportunity to get to know myself just a little deeper. I knew most of my personality traits, of course, but she helped me explain why I may do things or why I do them in a particular way. I plan on booking a follow-up reading just to go a little bit more deeply and to continue to use and understand astrology a little bit more.
Nice. I remember her. And I hope she does.
Yeah. So, of course, if anyone is interested in having an astrology reading, just click the link in our description, as well as use the code JAZZFUZZ. That's JAZZFUZZ. And that will get you a really awesome discount on your first reading. So let's get right into in the transits. So Monday, July 20th, we have a new moon in Cancer.
So this happens at 27 degrees of Cancer, and this is the second new moon in Cancer. If we recall, on Father's Day, we had the solar eclipse, and that only happens at a new moon. And this was at 0 degrees of Cancer. So here we are, 27-ish, 28 days later, and the moon is at 27 and I think it's like 27 and a half degrees of Cancer. And this happens at 12:33 p.m. And it's really the need for retreat because Saturn, the retrograde Saturn, is in the mix. So there's kind of like a slow start or a retreated start. Like, there's, in other words, there's more work to be done here, which, makes sense.
Okay, that's, and the same day, Monday, July 20th, we have the Sun opposing Saturn.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because the Saturn was involved with the moon, and the sun is opposing the moon and Saturn. So just a couple, literally
degrees away or seconds.
Literally 5 hours later, the sun moves into a position to exactly oppose. So just feeling that Monday, there's so much to do. You may see some loneliness or sadness or really like poorness, or maybe that's just how we feel. And it makes it hard for us to move forward. It's like feeling like the whole world is after you or me or us as a collective, just feeling like a little stuck, kind of what I talked about, kind of need for retreat, because at that 12:33 earlier when we've got the new moon. So just kind of what is your focus for the month?
Yeah, and prioritize a list of some sort.
Yeah, because there will be a little bit of a slow start.
So do those quick, easy things that you can get done and get some energy behind, and then focus on those big to-do lists early on so that you can get a lot more done.
You'll have time to complete them.
So Wednesday, July 22nd, Sun ingress Leo. Happy birthday, Leos.
Happy birthday. Be proud. 3:37 a.m. So Leos, wake up. It'll be time to be yourself. So stand out, up, and in. Just raise your hands and be in the world. Okay.
And same day, Wednesday, July 22nd, again, Mercury sextile Uranus.
So we have, this is at 3:25 p.m., the last pass. Now, this is the third and final time that Mercury, because remember, he was in shadow period, retrograde, and now he's just finishing up in a couple days' time his shadow period. But this is the last time he is in a sextile. It's a 60 degrees. It's a nice aspect to Uranus. So, it's now time to try that thing. What is that thing you have been researching or thinking about or pondering over and haven't actually hit a button or reached out to somebody? And
so this is the last pass. This is like kind of the last chance?
Well, this is of what you've been thinking of.
Okay.
Because this is whatever came in for you June 5th, if you have to go back into your calendar. June 5th is when it first came into the sextile to Uranus. I mean, Mercury is the planet of communication, thoughts, ideas. What do you want to study? What do you want to say? What do you want to teach? What do you want to learn? And in sextile, nice opportunity to Uranus. Uranus says maybe it's astrology. And these are the two planets that rule astrology. And Uranus is like, oh man, I've been wanting to do something and just haven't, now, because it retrograded. So it wasn't the time. But the idea came in. And I mentioned this to somebody. I wrote here, maybe that's when I'll go on the dating app.
Right.
And I wonder what dating is like
in the age of Corona.
In this time. But anyways, do something that you have been thinking about that you haven't, pulled the plug or touched the button, or is there something you have to say to somebody?
Okay. And so Monday, this is next Monday, July 27th, Jupiter sextile Neptune.
And this is my favorite day of the whole month of July. We're at the very end of July, and here comes my favorite month, or my favorite day of the month.
Cool. Why is it your favorite day?
Well, because it's the transiting. Jupiter is sextiling to Neptune, and Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, where Jupiter rules traditionally, and now
and Neptune rules modernly.
Yeah, and Neptune's not retrograde here, but Jupiter is. So Neptune is stronger here, and this happens at 11:07 a.m. And is this what magic is? Now, this is the second of 3 passes. And the first one was April 5. And the last one will be November 13th. So we can see that this is a long period. It's like the majority middle part of the entire year, April through November. So it kind of says, I've said, go back into your diary and into your calendar. And what did you write? Because that story is still developing. But here's the thing. Did you want to keep it? Did you want to tweak it?
Ooh.
You want to trade it? You can, because you have till November 13th. And then it kind of solidifies. You won't be able to change it. So if you have to adjust it, readjust it some way, you still have time.
And if anyone has written this, I would love to share it. I would love to at least be able to kind of explore that like kind of fantasy land, that fantasy story.
Occasionally I will mention, like, hey, write something on this day, keep it. We'll be referring to it as, the transit continues through the next few months. And this is one of the times I would have mentioned it, is that April 5th time frame. So anything early April, what was on your to-do list? What was on your, my girlfriend doesn't call it a bucket list. She calls it an experience list. Is that still something you want to do? Or did you forget about it and you have to go back and look at it and say, yeah, this is what magic is. This is what I want to do. Yeah, you may not have been able to do it recently, but there's still time to make an adjustment that maybe you need to put more time on it.
Okay. And so same day, we have pretty much 4 major things that we wanted to talk about. And this is all on next week, Monday. But by the time you might be listening to this podcast, it might be too late. So Venus square Neptune is the other transit.
Yeah. Where's your relationship?
Okay.
And I ask, where is it? Is it in the dumps? Is it in the trash pile?
Is it in the sky?
Is it in the, because you've heard the comment, it's probably for the best, right? Have you ever heard that comment?
Yeah.
And you've also heard the comment, it's for the best.
Right.
So
it's usually when something disappointing happens and somebody's trying to have you look at the positive side.
So, it's probably for the best. I'm being kind here. I've got 2 comments, right? It's probably for the best means it's probably disintegrated. That's what I would tell somebody that, their relationship did not make it through the Venus cycle of retrograde. Not all do. But then for those that have improved and moved on to the next level, it is for the best. I just add the probably for those that it didn't go so well and you're moving along separate lines now.
Okay.
That there was a breakup.
And we also have Mercury square Mars, and that's go time.
Go time. This is at 4:46 p.m. And now that Mercury comes out of his shadow today and he squares right away, boom, first thing is squares Mars. Now, Mars is really strong Mars is in its own sign of Aries. And Mercury's not so strong in the sign of Cancer, right? He has no dignity there.
Okay. And
so, thank goodness this is only really one time. So it makes us feel like we can make this, like we're ready to move on with our decision that we may have made around that April time frame. This is another aspect that kind of came in during, because in mid-April, these two, the Mercury and the Mars, were in a nice aspect with each other. They were in a sextile aspect. So, whatever it is you wanted to do here come by the end of July. So what did you have planned in April that you can or cannot do here at the end of July? And was your first instinct correct? In other words, is this what you were what you were about to do now, what you're about to do on this day? Is that kind of what you were thinking or had instinct for or had planned? There's something about, having a solid decision here because it's just coming out of its shadow. So it's making new territory It's treading new territory. And first, like I said, the first thing it does, it like butts up in a square to Mars, and Mars says, hey, either get going or stop. That like, so stand up for yourself if you need to here on this day.
Okay. Or, initiate and be that change maker, be that one to take the first step.
Yeah. Like you whatever it is you're thinking, Mercury has kind of power. Be careful with your verbiage plus power, because that means the other person has it too. Because this is a, universal aspect that's going on in the sky.
And staying on the topic of Mercury, this same day, Mercury is now out of his shadow.
Right, as I mentioned.
Yeah,
that's why it's the first thing that he's meeting up with. He gets new territory. And it's like, you've heard me give the analogy of, taking bags from the front door to the car. Right. As the Mercury is retrograde, he's getting ready to go somewhere. But he gets to the car, loads up what he has in his hands, and says, oh, man, I have to go back and get the keys.
Right.
I forgot, my purse, or, I forgot to lock the door. And he has to go trek back over the sidewalk that he just moved across and go into the house, get the keys, get the whatever he forgot. And then, which is the retrograde, now he's moving direct. He's going back out toward the car. He's now out of his shadow. And so he gets in the car and backs up, and boom, he runs over something. Or there's
the family cat.
No, but there might be like something like a garbage truck right as he's getting ready to leave. He's like, oh man, I have to wait for the garbage truck.
Or the one grocery bag you left behind the tire.
There's just something that's, because it's a square, so it's a little bit of a conflict, a little bit of a frustration. So, what is it that you've been thinking that you're frustrated over?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so moving on to talisman times, you have finished up 2. The first is to be promoted, and that was Monday, July 13th.
This was my daily work is being noticed as beneficial to the company. I am offered a promotion that meets my expectations. This one was very interesting for me. I do have sometimes that I make a talisman and something happens during that time. And at this exact moment, and I did not know it until a couple hours later when you called and told me that our good friend Doug Upchurch had passed away, exactly at this moment. So the fact that, to be promoted, indeed.
He was definitely promoted.
My daily work is being noticed as beneficial to the company, which means human race.
Right.
And if anybody remembers Doug Upchurch, who we had on as a podcast interview,
right.
A year ago or so. Well, we're going to replay that this week.
Right.
To let you know, he had his own podcast.
Brave, real. Brave, real, loving human radio.
Yeah.
Yes. And that actually came out December of 2019. And it was wonderful talking to him. And he really did share so much wisdom and love with the world that I'm so happy that he's now promoted into an angel. So
he left a lot of, like you said, cool wisdom, whether he knew he was going to leave this soon or whatever. He's still doing his work here on Earth.
Yeah.
So we're going to replay that and have you listen. Okay.
Yes. So your other talisman time was to find inner peace, and that was previously called to seek inner vision.
Yeah, to find inner vision. Sometimes when I'm in the exact timing, and this was at 1:49 in the morning, that I get another, because I write these in advance. Mm-hmm. But when I'm in the moment, sometimes I'm asked to change words, and that was one. to find inner vision. My desire to seek inner knowledge is connecting now to my third eye. I have insight into this darker, unknown world. We are connected. And this was when Moon was just passing through Pleiades, which is the biggest star in Pleiades is called Alcyone. And it does have to do with vision and a little cute story. I went up on the deck right after this because, it's
really
dark
mm-hmm.
in the morning. And I wanted to really see, because you can see the Pleiades. You can, right above Taurus. And, of course, you can see the moon. So I went out with my telescope and I took some pictures here. And I think I'll probably add them to the website on this particular bracelet.
Oh, pretty.
Because the moon was moving into, and the Pleiades are, representative as the 7 stars, the 7 sisters, or the 7 daughters. They're a constellation of 7, and they're grouped really close together, and they're quite bright, so you see them. But what I found easy or interesting is that one of the mythologies is not to sew. Don't put your thread through the eye of the needle and do any sewing, because it was thought that should the
lifeline
thread break on this day, that there was a breakage of lifeline or human race. So no one was supposed to sew on this day.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, and so I didn't.
Right. And so the upcoming talisman time, Wednesday, July 22nd, is to be a natural leader.
Well, of course, this is this moon on the fixed star, the royal fixed star, Regulus. By opening up my heart and my lioness power, I increase my vitality and attract others through my love and devotion. Now, come on, this is Regulus. This is one of the fixed stars in the sky, and just brings favor, just brings, vitality to the owner of this talisman. So this is just a really beautiful one for strengthening health and vitality. Yeah.
But also encouraging their leadership skills.
Well, right. So that you can bring more, you bring this, you attract others, you increase your vitality because you open the heart. Regulus sits in the sign of Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And
right. It's
right in the heart.
Yeah. It's the star that, if you would see the lion, is right there in his heart.
And really, it's one of the few stars that sit right on the zodiacal alignment, because the moon can pass right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
interesting. And so on the horizon, we have July 22nd, just a couple days away. We have our community check-in. This is complimentary. Everyone is invited. All you have to do is click the link, RSVP, and we will be sending you the instructions on how to join. Then July 25th, Chatting with the Stars, we have our August astrology forecast. Again, this is an online webinar, an online Facebook Live, complimentary virtual event where Sandy and Susan will be coming in and giving you all of the juicy, awesome astrological dates that you will want to remember for August.
So bring your calendars, your pens and pencils, and colored markers.
Yes. Again, we also have the Beth Davis online event happening July 30th and 31st. Again, congratulations to all of our ticket winners for this. It's going to be really wonderful. We're so excited.
If you've never had your human design chart done, it is not an astrology chart, but they do use your birth data. Mm-hmm. This is a place to have it done, where you'll get a copy of it in your email. She reviews a lot of the information during this time so that you can be doing your own, your own notes, your own reading of this. It's a 2-day event. It is worthwhile. Trust me.
And you have an interesting human design chart. You're a manifesting generator?
Yes. No, you are.
Oh, I am. That's
You
right.
are.
Oops.
Yeah. I'm a manifester.
Oh, you're a manifester.
Yeah.
I'm a manifesting generator.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about what that exactly means. So August 12th, we have our Chatting with the Stars webinar, and this is planets and politics. So basically what Sandy and Susan are going to be going over, this is a paid webinar, and
$20.
it's very affordable and a really wonderful way to take a look at the, upcoming conventions and the astrology behind them. So we would love to have you. Click the link in the description and we would love to see you there. And in our house, Sandy and I are going to answer the popular question that pretty much pops up every once in a while. Once either Time magazine or a newspaper or even a news channel picks up this story of Ophiuchus. And that's like the 13th zodiac sign.
And it is not. I mean, it is a constellation up there in the sky, which sits between like Scorpio and Sagittarius. You can see it on your star maps. It kind of sits further out. But yeah, every so often, the astronomers will post this, and then the news people will
pick it up
and
and
it's
run.
Like, and it's like, where's the old reporters that reported this 3 years ago?
Right. And this
because we've already discussed this in 2016. It was a big thing at one of the astrology conventions. 2011. It is like a question that comes up.
That's when Time magazine picked it up, and it turned into this like catastrophic thing where everyone was just regretting all of those zodiac tattoos that they have on their butts.
Especially the Leos.
So the question is, are astrologers recognizing Ophiuchus as a zodiac sign? So are astrologers?
No.
So astronomers are recognizing it. But who's to say which zodiac signs are there? I would probably trust the astrologers.
The astronomers use it because they're up there. Absolutely. We recognize that. Do we use those in interpretations in one's astrology? No.
Right. And as far as you know, I mean, as far and as wide as your astrological networks go, you've never heard of an astrologer who uses Ophiuchus?
No, never. In fact, if you go to any astrologer's website, although we haven't, because we're not really bloggers, you'll see, no, you are not the sign that has just come up in the last week. That indeed, it turns into like an urban legend, right? It's like, this is what everybody's talking about. It is not true. Astrologers do not use this in interpretative work. So your sun sign is, hey, you Aquariuses, you're still Aquariuses.
Yes.
Thank God us Pisces.
Take a deep breath, everybody. Yeah. So that wraps up this episode of Astrological Intentions. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for reviewing us. So until next time, see you later.
Bye-bye.
In the searching